Hi guys, so I got tomatoes very cheap, 3 pounds for $10, and I decided to do a video on how I sun dry my tomatoes in the oven. So this is about 4 pounds of tomatoes laid out in two cookie trays that I lined with foil so that it's easier to clean up. It won't get graved into the pan. So first of all, you want to use very ripe tomatoes for this. It will be much sweeter. And you slice them very thinly. I would say about a quarter of an inch. And you're taking the tops off. You're taking the green things off, the stem parts. And you want to try to make sure they're all similar thickness so that they will cook a little more evenly. Now I'm going to salt this very slightly. You can use whatever salt that you want. You can use Himalayan pink salt. You can use regular table salt. I'm using regular salt today because I ran out of Himalayan pink. So you want to just salt it evenly. Just a light, very light sprinkle of salt. And so I'm sun drying these mostly to make pasta sauce because I find it tastes better than the ones that I would get in the grocery. And while tomatoes is so cheap now, it's just, it makes sense. And I will actually store it in the fridge because sun-dried tomatoes store really well in olive oil. And I will be roasting some garlic too to go in it. So I am going to put these in the oven on a very low heat. It's recommended about 120 degrees, and you can bake them for 1 hour and then remove them. At that point they will be somewhat drier, but they won't be very sun dried, that very leathery texture. You won't get that, but you can still use it to make your pasta sauce at that point. And I actually use it like that a lot of times. Or you can let them go further. So I'll show you all how it looks in an hour, and then in 2 hours I'll let some go a little bit longer, and we'll see how long it takes to get to that leathery texture. The key to doing this is you want the oven to be not very hot, else they're going to just burn. You want it to be a very low temperature, right? So that's it, and I'll show you all how it comes out. So this is how the tomatoes look after about an hour and a half, and you can see that they're quite wrinkled on the edges and the juices have dried a lot. And you could take them out at this point and use them and make your sauce, and that's perfectly fine. Or you can let them go again. I'm gonna put them back for a little while longer. I just want them to get a little drier and a little more rubbery, but this is actually how I usually use them. Sometimes I even let them go. Sometimes I even don't dry them out this much. I dry them for about an hour and then I would use them to cook dinner. But because I'm storing them, I want them to be just a tad bit drier. Okay, so I left them for about a half an hour again, and they got a little bit drier. Some got slightly burned, also would have been a little bit thinner. That's okay. So I'm going to put these in some olive oil, and I'm actually going to be blending some as well for dinner, and I'll show you how I blend it and how I make the sauce as well. So this is kind of what you're looking for if you're going for the drier, more sun-dried taste, or you could actually leave them a little bit like this. Doesn't have to be too dry and brown, right? So I'm going to show you how I blend it up. So I put the tomatoes in a jar and I packed them down, and I added olive oil to it just to cover it a bit. Now this is not all I got. I got twice this amount. I used some last night. And so you can add garlic to this, chopped garlic, roasted garlic. I opted not to this time, but this can last up to 2 weeks in your fridge. If you want it to last longer, you'd have to dry the tomatoes out a little bit more to get more of the moisture out. But to make the sauce, all you do is you're adding about half cup of the sun-dried tomatoes. You're adding in a blender with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of water. You blend it up, add it back to your pan. You add a little bit of heavy cream or evaporated milk and some cheese, and that's it really. That's your sauce, and it tastes so good. It has such a very deep flavor, and and it's so amazing. Last night I made some tomato soup with it, and everybody really loved it. The flavor was really good. It wasn't sour at all. So I just wanted to show you all, things that you could do with the tomatoes now that it's so cheap and it's in season, and knowing that something like sun-dried tomatoes are so expensive in the groceries, but we can use, the cheap tomatoes that we have now and make it ourselves. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all try it out and let me know, how it works for you and how it tastes, more importantly. So until next time.